Oh, YouTube! Don't you dare be sour! Clap for your world famous New Year's holiday and feel the power! It's a new year, yes it is! YouTubers! What is going on? And good evening. It is now, the clock is just straight midnight Eastern Standard Time, if you're from Pittsburgh or from the East Coast of the United States. Sorry this review is a little bit late. I had some other things I was attending to before I started this. But however, we're going to start off this new year on this YouTube channel fresh and exciting and great as we talk about Monday Night Raw, the January 1st, 2018 episode, which took place in Miami, Florida, home of The Rock. Now, we're going to be sitting down in this chair right in front of me, and we'll be discussing this episode with, who may I ask you? Who? Your boy, the Club of the Man 1993, as he is, as we all know him as, one of 4 members of your YWC 4 Horsemen Brothers! What is going on, guys? Yes, this is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you. Going a little nuts here. I am not really... Oh, goodness. Lauren saw this. Hi, Lauren. How are you? I hope you had a good New Year's. I am so sorry about this. Oh, and Robbie, crap. I really went all out and decided to just make a special little entrance tonight. Just have a little bit of fun here to start off this new year, 2018. Hope you guys had a good New Year as well. Unfortunately for me, it wasn't really that great of a New Year's. It's kind of boring. I just stayed at home and did not much. I just played some video games. First time in several years. I didn't have any plans for New Year's Eve, but you know what? Whatever. It's done. It's in the past. 2018's began. I'm ready to move forward. So I just want to have a little bit of fun. Start off with an entrance, doing a parody of the New Day, and including, I found this really old Echo mic. I think I bought at like a flea market or something years and years ago. I found them, like, you know what? Top it all off. I'll hold the mic like you're Buenos, like, oh, rated R, Xavier Woods, and just, be entertaining. Just come in, just have some fun here because it's a new year and we're going to celebrate and have fun. So let's get started here with this live review. Again, thank you to Lauren and Robbie for already tuning into the live chat already. Lauren says, I wasn't interested in seeing Raw. It got too boring for me, to be honest. I wish I could attend SmackDown Live tomorrow, but not enough money. Oh, you're from the Florida area. I'm sure it will still be a good show, though. I'm sorry that you cannot attend. Ruby, Robbie says, where are my Ruby Riot ice cream bars? Well, they probably don't exist because that Ruby Riot you're talking about only has 1 T. The one we have now has 2 T's. And Happy New Year as well, Robbie. I'm sorry I missed your message last night. I would have loved to have been on your live stream. Don't you dare be sour. Clap for your world famous Club of the Man 1993 and feel the power. It's a live stream. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And again, we're starting off on a really high note just to have a blast and just reviewing this episode. A good way to kick off 2018 on this channel of the Club of the Man 1993, even though I kind of did already with the start of a new special retro review series I will talk about and plug at the end of this review. So before we get started, though, let me get a quick drink. Again, I'm not from Houston. I've never been to Houston, but I don't know how I got this Texans cup. So, anyways, let's get started now and talk about tonight's episode of Raw. As I said in the intro, it was the New Year's episode of Raw took place in Miami, Florida, home of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as we all know him as. And this episode of Raw, as Lauren said in the live chat, wasn't really that interesting, boring. To me, very inconsistent. Not too much really noteworthy of seeing here. We had a couple interesting moments there as well. And Robbie mentions something about the Balor Club, which we will talk about that later in this show as well. But overall, pretty inconsistent show, honestly, in my honest opinion. But without further ado, let's get started with this review. So we started off with just advertising what there is to come for tonight. We had Roman Reigns taking on Samoa Joe for the Intercontinental Championship, and the stipulation was due to what happened on last week's episode of Raw, where Roman Reigns snapped and pushed the referee, caught himself to get disqualified. We're going to have another match tonight, and if Reigns got disqualified or counted out, he would lose the championship, which to me doesn't really need for a match between Joe and Reigns, because we all know Joe's going to be in there, and he's not going to do anything cheap to try to get that Intercontinental title. He's going to do whatever he has to do to win the match and hurt his opponent. That's what he wants to do as a heel, which makes him a great heel. We were supposed to get we were supposed to get a match tonight between Enzo Amore and Cedric Alexander, but that did not happen. But we will get to that later. And then we also had a match advertised. It was Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. And then also Brock Lesnar was making his return tonight, the first Raw of the new year, to make a statement regarding his upcoming match with Brock Lesnar and Kane at the Royal Rumble. So to get started here, we had Alexa Bliss backstage, and she found Kurt Angle and says, "What are you thinking?" And then she was referring to Kurt Angle putting her in a match against Asuka tonight. It was a non-title match though. And then Kurt's like, "I just wanted to start the new year off great with a WrestleMania quality match." And Alexa keeps, objecting to it and saying, Asuka, just attacked her without me provoking her last week, whatnot. So you're rewarding her with a match. And Angle said, "You're not going to change his mind. And you have a problem with Asuka, you can settle it in the ring." And should count herself lucky, though, that it's not a title match yet. That word "yet" he emphasized. So he said, so he says, "I have to get going, get to the ring." So he goes into the ring. Okay, Lauren said, I hope I didn't scare anybody off with that New Day entrance. I was just being a little corny, but not. But we will get to that match between Alexa and Asuka later in this review. But it was a good match. I do like how they gave a lot of time. One of the very few bright spots of tonight's episode of Raw. And we will also talk about the Balor Club possibly uniting as well on Monday Night Raw. Angle comes out to make his entrance, and he wishes us all a happy New Year. Thank you, Kurt, good friend of you from Pittsburgh. He welcomes us to Raw before saying that 2017 was one of the greatest years of his career, but we thought 2017 was great. 2018 is going to be even greater. In 3 weeks, Raw will have its 25th anniversary. That's the go-home show before the Royal Rumble. And I am looking forward to that show as well. A bunch of friends and I are going to get together and watch the show from here at my house that night. The go-home show for the Royal Rumble should hopefully be an awesome anniversary show. He also announced that John Cena declared himself into the Royal Rumble, and then he starts talking about the Women's Royal Rumble match, saying the rules will apply the same for the men's Royal Rumble match. There'll be 30 women over the top elimination, and the winner will get a title match at WrestleMania. Which to me, I find very interesting. I know some people don't like that because there isn't enough women on the roster to have a 30-woman Royal Rumble match, but to me, it leaves a lot of room for some surprises. We're probably getting some NXT superstars. We can get, the iconic duo of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, Catwoman and Poison Ivy, as you call them, Robbie. We can get the NXT Women's Champion Ember Moon making an appearance as well. We can have even Nikki Cross I can see coming up. We can have, Trish Stratus, Lita, Kelly, even Beth Phoenix wants to make an appearance. Some women from the past make an appearance as well because they deserve to be, a part of this historic event as well in the Royal Rumble.
as well. And then we have shoot, I thought. But then also, I think it needs to happen. We could possibly be seeing the WWE debut of Ronda Rousey, and if she comes, I think if Asuka doesn't win for the Raw side, I think Ronda should be going to SmackDown, and she can win from the SmackDown and face Charlotte for the title at WrestleMania. Either way, because I have heard rumors they have possibly dropped the idea of the four horsewomen of the MMA taking on the four horsewomen of WWE. If that's the case, though, then my backup option I would say is have Charlotte versus Ronda for the title at WrestleMania. Because honestly, if they had this another SmackDown Women's title match, who would be that qualified at this point to face Charlotte at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's Championship? My honest opinion, honestly. But But that is my thoughts on that. I'm excited to look forward to see who the surprises will be. In the live chat, Lauren says John Cena, Randy Orton, just got more Finn Balor, and Elias Sampson are officially announced for the Men's Rumble. This may be one of the greatest Royal Rumbles in history. Can't wait. I hope it is too as well. A good card participants in there so far. Should be pretty good. He's about to go on for as far as what's going on tonight, and then the bar interrupt him. And then Sheamus tells him to forget about the in Sheamus' voice, forget about the Royal Rumble for a second, because he wants it. That's a terrible imitation of Sheamus. I can do his imitation of the Hardy Boys or whatever. But anyways, I won't go too far because my voice is really drained up right now. He wants to talk about what happened though last week. They were robbed of their tag titles. He gave a one-time tag team a title match, which kind of is true. Rollins and Jordan teamed up out of nowhere just to have a tag title match, and what led to Jason Jordan getting that opportunity. But it is interesting, though, where this could go. Cesaro says they can't stand favoritism, and it wasn't bad enough that he gifted his son a chance to have Seth Rollins as his partner, but what he did after was just too much. Coming out there and giving Jason Jordan a hug and raising his arm in victory. Sheamus saying how it makes him sick, and Cesaro says Jordan, which also, I don't know if Cesaro was not wearing his mouth guard or if he's just gotten used to it, but he sounded a lot better on the microphone. A lot better on the microphone, though, for some reason. He sounded a lot more clear. Shoot, I lost my place again. But I'm sorry. They did deserve the title shot, though, so that the Bar wanted their rematch tonight. And Kurt says that they'll get their rematch when he says so. And of course, the Bar refused to raise a fuss. And then Jason Jordan came in, just him. And he pretty much just comes in there and just starts just raving about himself being tag champions. Again, not really giving much credit to Seth, just, bragging about himself pretty much, as that heel turn slowly teases more but for Jason Jordan. Out came Seth Rollins, Robbie in the live chat saying, hey, Enzo, I'm sorry, but there's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. S-I-C-K, sick. And of course, the other piece of the live chat, Robbie says, you bomb me with one more can, kid, and I'll snap off your cojones and boil it in motor oil. Merry Christmas from Home Alone. But getting back to this opening segment on Raw, Seth Rollins came out to the ring, and he says that they may be champs, but there's a lot that Jordan needs to learn from being a teammate. You see the pale Irish idiot with the stupid mohawk. What good does it for a team if he gets jumped by him? If you don't like your partner, I understand that, but you have to be professional and worry about what's good for the both of us. You need to stop being so self-absorbed, and you're coming out here just to brag to your dad. And Rollins says, I'm coming out here not just be in your corner as Kurt was setting up a match between Jordan and Cesaro. He says, I'm going to be out here in your corner to defend you in any way you can. But as far as I can see it right now, the way your ego is going, you're out here just to lose. And then Cesaro blindsides Jordan from behind And Rollins just gets out there and just like, come on, just give him some advice before the match begins. And then we had the match, Cesaro versus Jason Jordan. I thought this could be a pretty good match on paper. Like, it really could, again, with Jason Jordan's talent and, of course, Cesaro's talent as well. But honestly, it wasn't as good as I'd hoped for. And if they just did this on purpose, sometimes like a bad match to me could be done on purpose just to show, make you, not like someone more, which is Jason Jordan. And of course, for the second time, because this did happen last week on Raw in the tag title match, thanks to a distraction from when Seth Rollins took out Sheamus, Cesaro was having to be distracted by that action, and Jason Jordan was able to hit the Grand Amplitude to beat Cesaro for the victory. So Jason Jordan won again, and Seth Rollins was trying to endorse him, raising his arm, but Jordan again just starts bragging about himself and raving. So again, it's planting the seeds for that Jason Jordan heel turn. However, though, I want this to be what the plans they had for Jason Jordan as a heel going forward. I don't want this to be Jason Jordan just filling Dean Ambrose's shoes. That's not what I want this to be. So match was all right. Could have been a little bit better. Another thing though about crap. Oh well, either way. But yeah, again, I just hope this is not Jason Jordan. I'm just filling Dean Ambrose's shoes as tag champions. Let me see here. Yeah, show's called Takeover, right? Glad you guys talking about New Year's. I hope 2018 is great as well. Robbie watched SmackDown Elimination Chamber, the title match. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne for Takeover Chicago. Nice. If Kurt Angle and Triple H have worn the Shield gear recently, don't be surprised if Jason Jordan does too. Oh, we'll talk about that segment also in this show later on as well. But yeah, we have that, and then backstage we have Roman Reigns being interviewed about his Intercontinental title match tonight. He says, if you ask me, Samoa Joe got exactly what he deserved last week for hurting my brother Dean Ambrose. Before, he would have said Samoa Joe is a great opponent, but now he's a punk, and that's why he got punked out last week. This week will be any different. It'll be ugly and intense, but he's going to stay inside the rules. He hopes. And then we have Bray Wyatt making his entrance. But before that, we had a couple of little New Year's resolution vignettes from several of the women's wrestlers announcing their entrance to the Royal Rumble. Well, the Women's Royal Rumble, that is. Sasha Banks was the first one. And then we had this match. This match is already put down for my list, because I already am starting to keep track of my lists for, our year in awards, a review video at the end of this year, which will be here before you know, because time goes by very fast these days, guys and gals as well. So I put this match down already for my worst match of the year, because this match was terrible. It was Apollo Crews versus Bray Wyatt. Now, here's the hey, Robbie says, hey, Mike, would you be up for a Daniel Guyza Pittsburgh Pens ice cream sandwich? Yeah, sure. I'll take it pretty much. Speaking of which, just to endorse my hometown hockey team, though not much of a hockey team, my new Penguins t-shirt I got from for Christmas, everybody. But yeah, this match was long. It was boring. I mean, I want to see Apollo Crews get the opportunity, and he got a lot of offense in, I felt, for the most part. But to be quite honest, it didn't really make the cut. It still didn't make him look good. This whole thing with Dana Brooke joining Titus Worldwide wasn't really that great in general as well. And this match is slow. It was boring. It got a commercial break. This match did not need a commercial break, unfortunately. I'm sorry. If it was reasonably good, I would have been all right with it, but this match just dragged, and then it ended weird. It had Dana Brooke up on the top rope, just screaming at Apollo, and then Bray Wyatt just stares her down. She gets scared and falls back and knocks over Titus. And then the Apollo Crews off distraction did hit Bray with the enziguri, and then he looked like he was about to set up for the spinning sit-down powerbomb, but unfortunately, Bray Wyatt hit him with the Sister Abigail to get the pinfall victory. Again, not really that great of a match. Pretty boring. What the heck was that? That was the first of several times I said that, by the way, about this episode of Raw. But then we have woken Matt Hardy appear in a Titantron and says last week he transformed Bray Wyatt's Fireflies to his Woken Warriors, and now he'll devour the darkness he spews across WWE and convert it into light. He then consumes a bunch of entitles. He can't escape his Woken wisdom for much longer because Matt is an omniscient ghost that haunts his dreams, and once Abigail's power is no more, he will delete Bray Wyatt. And then the multiples of Hardy's face start appearing on the Titantron, just doing his laugh, and then before being just one of himself again, and then Bray Wyatt just stares on, just creeped out by this act of talent. Of act as well. What do you think of the Raw talent? I have a feeling 2018 will be a great year for the WWE. I mean, I like the talent too, Lauren. I mean, I hope it is a good year as well. I mean, they have the talent, they have the star power, just need to use them properly, utilize them well, and develop the talent as well. And like you have guys like Apollo Crews, get more talent. Again, someone who has the talent there, he was just called up way too early from NXT. Jason Jordan as well, has the wrestling, but he doesn't have much of a character, but they're slowly getting somewhere with this heel turn. I'm sorry, but this whole Kurt Angle storyline just kind of watered him down, honestly, in my opinion. But we had that going on there. And then backstage, we had this is where we found out that apparently Enzo Amore was in the ER sick with the flu. So his love interest, Nia Jax, is trying to leave, where Alexa Bliss rolls up and asks her if she'll be in her corner for her match against Asuka. Nia says sorry, but Enzo is sick and he needs her. So she has to take this soup to him. And Alexa begs her, saying, what's more important, Enzo or me? And then Nia looks to Soup and says, I'm sorry, it's getting cold, and leaves. So Alexa Bliss wasn't too happy about this. But that match was next. It was Alexa Bliss versus Asuka in a non-title match. And this is definitely a WrestleMania caliber match. I do like how this match took place, though. Alexa Bliss is just showed, despite the fact that they do expose her weaknesses, and she has her fears at times, especially, well, I don't know who she fears more, facing Nia Jax, or if she fears facing Asuka, because they're both pretty darn dangerous. Well, Nia Jax for size, Asuka because she's quick and just tough to beat in general and can't be beaten, and was the case here. So the match again was pretty good. They gave them a lot of time. At first, Alexa was backing off from Asuka, but then she's trying outsmarting her. And you know what? For a while, it was working. Alexa did seem to get a good amount of offense on Asuka. Not make it look like it was just Asuka facing another jobber as well. She did get Alexa Bliss to tap out to her this new submission she's using. She hasn't been using the Asuka lock. She's been using that cross arm breaker roll up submission. Now I know a lot of people weren't too happy about once again Alexa Bliss losing or a champion losing clean. And honestly, it does kind of make sense. You see how the champion loses here. Asuka should be entitled to a championship match, but she still has to gain that opportunity through the Royal Rumble. What I can see possibly happening, they may go as far as having Asuka and Alexa face each other, maybe at Raw 25 for the title, and then it just leads to an outside brawl just to hype up the Women's Royal Rumble match. I know that's not really the best idea, but it's what I can probably see happening. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite play into the plans I was hoping to, because I was hoping that Paige would win the Women's Championship either at Raw 25 or even at the Royal Rumble, like on the pre-show stuff itself, because I'm still predicting Paige versus Asuka at WrestleMania 34, but I don't want to see Paige just have this a short title reign. At this point, I see Paige winning it in a prediction I'm making for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, a Women's Elimination Chamber match. And I want her to have a little bit longer title run than just from the Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania, honestly. Disappointed, little nitpick, but it's like, I'll still take it for what it was. I just hope we still get that match at WrestleMania, because if they just do Asuka and Alexa again, it's like, unless it's a stipulation, what will the point be? Because we know now Asuka can beat Alexa. So hopefully that is the case. Nia brought him some Campbell's classic chicken soup. Good, LL. Is Nia face now? Not 100% sure, really. At this point, who is face and who is heel at this point? I do not know. But it's possible. Well, Enzo's a heel right now, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it's not going to lead much tension between Alexa and Nia for now, but you never know with WWE these days what could happen. Then we had this great interview by Samoa Joe backstage saying, he's not worried about the stipulation as well. He'll beat Roman Reigns like he has every other time they've wrestled. What people need to realize is that he owns and has mentally broken Roman Reigns. Not too long ago, he was calling himself a fighting champion, and the Shield were going to be great champions together. But because of him, they'll never be champions together. And Dean Ambrose is staying at home, being a stay-at-home husband, living off his wife's paycheck, which anytime anymore, Dean Ambrose is mentioned in front of Renee Young. It's so awkward. Like, Renee Young has a look on her face like, yeah, okay, I know, that's me. I know, guys. Ever since she came back from the honeymoon, whatnot, yeah, so that was awkward, goofy, because it happened last week also in an interview. But thanks to him, Roman is the kind of champion that gets himself disqualified, but tonight he's run out of options and time. So when he puts him to sleep and becomes new Intercontinental Champion, he'll have to understand it may be his yard, but he lives in Samoa Joe's world. And then speaking of big man, we get Braun Strowman making his entrance for the first time in 2018 as well. So what are we going to get there as well? I'm kind of sick of Raw using the same people. That is true. We could use a little bit of a mix up here and there as well. So like we're gonna get here, hopefully somebody actually more worthwhile taking on Braun Strowman. Instead, we yet get another squash match. Braun Strowman taking on Rhino, which again is supposed to be a face tag team, and Braun Strowman is supposed to be a baby face, or is Braun Strowman just Brock Lesnar tweener style now? Who knows? We get Braun Strowman versus Rhino in a squash match. So, he's just going to squash. I mean, for the heck of it, it was just fun seeing Braun just wreak havoc. But just to see him, squash Rhino and Heath Slater, which when Braun went back in for one last time to feed a running power slam to both Rhino and Slater after the match again, when he picked up Slater for the final time again, I go, Braun, don't do it. He's got kids. But yeah, so like you're gonna have him just facing a bunch of squash matches now. How is that gonna make him and Kane look strong going into a match against Brock Lesnar? Like, shouldn't they be doing something else against more credible opponents to make them look good? Even if you wanted to have like Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe go at it for a match before, that might be a little bit too like big a match to give away this early, maybe, but still, just having them just squashing people. It's like, what's this going to make me psyched for their match at the Royal Rumble, which I'm still not looking forward to their match at the Royal Rumble because, Brock Lesnar's going to win. He's going to pin Kane. If they go as far as having Kane win the title, then I'm going to be like, because that would be ridiculous at this point. But we had that. Braun just, doing Power Slam Mania. And then we had this backstage segment. We have Roman Reigns in the locker room, and here comes Seth. He says he heard what Joe said moments ago, and he wants to make sure Roman is cool. Roman says he's cool, but Joe's a fool. Still running his mouth. He's a jokesman. He hopes Dean is watching that because you do not mess with our brother. And out of nowhere comes Jason Jordan. Terrible mic skills already. He sounded like a fool saying this. I just couldn't help but laugh my rear end off. Jason Jordan says they're focused on the bar, and he's focused on Joe. And we know we have our differences as far as trying to get their hands on Joe. But if any of them interfere, they will take them out. Believe that, he pretty much said. And when Jordan said believe that, and when he walked away, and then the look on Roman's and Seth's face was like, huh? All right. I literally just busted out laughing. I'm just like, you idiot. You sound like a fool on the mic altogether. You trying to be a member of the Shield. No, don't even try it, Jordan. Don't even try it. But I just cracked up laughing. Let me see. Robbie says, hey, Mike, when I get creative control overall, I'll re-Christian it. Monday Night Robbie. Hashtag please sign Robbie. Yes, keep that hashtag going. Please sign Robbie. I will definitely take that, Robbie. Then we have Braun Strowman backstage where he runs into Kane. And Kane is saying, I don't want trouble, and as strange as it may say for him, but he just wants to talk about Brock. He never wrestled him, but Strowman has. So since they're both the alpha monsters of WWE, they can take out the Beast, and we can do it by being on the same page, and then we can do our business from there. But then Braun says he doesn't care about Kane or his plane. He's the only alpha monster around here, and when he takes Brock down, he's going to do it on his own terms. So he walks away. So Kane disappointed, whatnot, whatever. Then we have Kurt Angle on the phone talking about the Women's Royal Rumble match. Maybe he's talking to Stephanie about it. But then out of nowhere, here comes Finn Balor, and this was kind of interesting. He tells Kurt that he was the first Universal Champion. He never got his rematch, but if it means going through 29 other guys, he will. So he announced his entrance into the Royal Rumble. And then Angles tells Finn he's sure he'll represent Raw well, but he's sure you have something else on his mind as well. You have a 6-man tag match later on against Elias and the Miztourage. Who are your partners? And then Balor introduces his partners, the Club, Gallows and Anderson. So I'm like, interesting here. So I mentioned before, at this point with the bad booking of Finn Balor and the Club in 2017, I don't know if I could take the Club seriously. But now that I see it happening, I don't know why. I'm just like, The way Balor mentioned he never got his Universal title picture. In the Universal title shot. That is true. Talking about having to enter the Royal Rumble. That is true. Does Balor have a plan up his sleeve or something? Or is this a one-time alliance? As he teamed up with two guys, likes to call everybody just a bunch of nerds. Still hate when they say that, but yeah, so it was official. We were going to be getting the Balor Club, Finn Balor, and Gallows and Anderson taking on the team of Elias and the Miztourage later on tonight. Put Jason Jordan on the list for trying to be a member of the Shield. Actually, Robbie, that is a good idea. Jason Jordan, you know what happens when your promo skills are terrible? You know what happens when you try to be a member of the Shield? At a request from my good friend Robbie One Kenobi, Jason Jordan, you can join your veggies as I posted it earlier last year. You just made the list. All right. Got that out of the way. First member of the list for 2018 is official, Jason Jordan. And Robbie also says maybe the Club helps Finn win the Rumble, or maybe like Gene had in mind, they help Finn win the Universal Title Mania. I'd be all for that. If it gives them some direction as well, that'd be awesome. Because I don't know if I want to see Gallows and Anderson be babyface. They should be badass dominant heels, as they should be over in New Japan. Vince McMahon can't take two guys who've already established themselves somewhere else and just make them completely different people in his own vision. That's just going to hurt them all together as well. No one's going to give them a reaction. But we had that. Nerds, as Robbie mentions in the comments section. But yeah, getting back to Raw. What we have next? Next we have this match. This should have been the main event. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe for the Intercontinental Championship. Again, the stipulation of the match is if Roman Reigns gets counted out or disqualified, he loses the championship, which to me really didn't need to have that stipulation in there. But, it does announce the pressure with what's going on around them. And also, you can't trust Jason Jordan because, how he didn't want to come out and, get his hands on Samoa Joe. He could have come out and got carried away and cost the Reigns the Intercontinental Championship as well, giving it to Joe. But if Joe was to win the title, I wanted to see him win cleanly, which, I wanted to see Joe win the title, but I didn't want to be completely against Roman retaining either because, again, I've been completely fine with Roman as Intercontinental Champion. As long as he's defending the title, having good matches, I'm cool with it. I don't care. So we had this match, and like their previous matches, just another great match. These two just have great chemistry and work well together. Two big men, they have their agility as well, which again, Joe's agility just amazes me, especially with, Roman's 6'3", 265. Joe's around the same height, but it was 280, 285 is a big, heavier set man. Those high, insecurities he can get up to anybody's head as well. He even did it again in his main roster debut when that beat down Seth Rollins. He did it in blue jeans, people. Blue jeans. I couldn't even do that type of kick in jeans if I even tried back in my karate days as well. But yeah, very interesting indeed. But it's a very good match. I remember trying to remember. There was this one really close count that I remember that it was one of the very close near falls. It was one point in the match wherever Joe shoves Roman and he runs into John Cone, again, the same referee who was the referee from last week's match. And it was an accident. He tries to talk some sense into Cone, saying it was an accident, and it looked like he was about to disqualify Roman, but he charges in and shoves John to the side, and Samoa takes advantage, hitting a huge Uranagi on Roman Reigns, and I thought that was it. I thought Roman was going to win the championship right there, but Roman kicked out to a surprise. There's also a point in the match also before wherever they were outside the ring, and then as I said before, Joe, he doesn't want to take the easy way out. He wants to beat his opponent down and just hurt them, and that's exactly what he did here. I like the segment where he's just smashing Roman's head into the steel steps, saying, "This is for the Shield, bang! This is for Ambrose, bang! This is for last week, bang!" Classic Joe right there, I felt, in my opinion. Unfortunately, though, Joe did not win this match, as Roman Reigns did hit him with a spear to win the match and retain the Intercontinental Championship. Again, I know some people were disappointed. I felt Joe should have won the match as well. But again, it was still a great match. Can't take it away. As long as Roman keeps doing this stuff as Intercontinental Champion, I can't hate him for it. So, a great match. Already my early match of the year for 2018. It's a great match as well. So Roman Reigns wins the title. Backstage, though, we have Kurt Angle just watching it on the screen, and then Paul Heyman comes up, and he says, surely Angle knows there's a conspiracy going on under his watch right now. If Braun and Kane team up and on his client, Lesnar will be proactive, though, not reactive. He adds that 2018 will be the year of the beast. And then also, we also had earlier tonight, we had, I forgot to mention this, we had Bayley announcing her entrance to the Royal Rumble. Then we have Absolution. Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. Paige was looking quite good tonight, I shall say. Paige was, they announced that they're going to be entering the Royal Rumble as well. And then we advertised tomorrow night on 205 Live, Hideo Itami and Jack Gallagher. I'm not going to watch it because I don't watch 205 Live, which also actually, I remember now. Earlier on, where my mind went completely blank, because there was two things I remember I was going to ask tonight, and if anybody in the live chat wants to leave their thoughts on this. So there have been rumors apparently that Sheamus is suffering from spinal stenosis, and that's the reason why they seemingly have kept this tag team with the Bar together. I think they put it there in the first place, Cesaro and Sheamus, because of Sheamus's limitations as a singles competitor. Does this make you a little unhappy now with how the Bar is? I mean, they've done great as tag champions, but if this is holding Cesaro back from getting a singles push, does that make you guys aggravated at all? Because it kind of bothers me a little bit. If they want to keep them together, though, and it somehow helps Cesaro get a title opportunity, then cool. But if it's just going to hold Cesaro back from getting that long-awaited singles push, then it's starting to bother me just a little bit. And honestly, for Sheamus' own sake, he should not be wrestling if he has spinal stenosis, since it ended the careers of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Edge. So that's just that thoughts that. And also, last week in the match on Raw, the Brian Kendrick was injured. He injured his orbital bone, I believe it was, thanks to the GTS from Hideo Itami. And right away, rumors have it that apparently the WWE is banning the GTS. So I don't know if it's because of that or if they just jumped on the gun because that was a finishing maneuver of CM Punk. What are your guys' thoughts on those two things I just mentioned? If you guys are still alive in the live chat, Not really. Don't see anybody in the live chat at the moment. But speaking of the cruiserweights, another question, another what was this moment happen with this segment. Enzo Amore, again, apparently was sick and was not able to defend his title on Raw tonight. I don't know if that was, for real or if it was just, kayfabe, because it plays on with Enzo just refusing to defend the Cruiserweight Championship because he knows he will lose it. Robbie in the live chat says Cesaro could return to a singles competition with Sheamus in his corner because Sheamus shouldn't be wrestling and risk paralyzing his current condition. Yes, exactly. They could do that. But again, if they keep going with the bar, just keep not even giving Cesaro that push, it's going to bother me a little bit at this point, in my honest opinion. But getting back to the this, Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari in the ring, and Gulak pretty much just reads a note from Enzo Amore, saying that he's not doing too well, saying he has the flu and therefore he won't be defending the title tonight. He promised that he will wipe the floor with Cedric Alexander. And in fact, he wishes he was here to tell him that what he thinks of him. And of course, Cedric comes out and he says he came here expecting a title match and for competition. But since Enzo is sick, which one will we step up to take his place? And Gulak and Daivari talk it over, and they say they'd be happy to obligate, but in a tag match. And Daivari says it'll be the two of them against Alexander, anyone who walks down that ramp. But they both know he doesn't have a lot of friends around here, so good luck on someone coming down. So I thought the wise choice would be here would probably be, well, they could have brought Hideo Itami, or I thought maybe it could have been Mustafa Ali. Nope, unfortunately, it was not either one of those. Do you know who it was? It was Goldust. Now, when I say that I want the Cruiserweights to do more than just 205 Live, to have more matches against other competitors, I didn't mean bring a 6'6", 232-pound veteran into a Cruiserweight match for no apparent reason whatsoever. So Goldust comes out there and accepts to be friends with Cedric Alexander. I thought, okay, if this maybe leads to, because Goldust has been flowing back and forth and more between heel and babyface, which I want him to stay heel. I want him to do more with that director's cut promos. They were so good. I loved them. I was running to my TV when they were coming on in 2017. So yeah, that was just, I'm just like, no. So they did this match, and I was thinking maybe Goldust will attack Cedric Alexander. Leave this Cedric Alexander maybe having, well, he still has his Cruiserweight title match, but maybe having a non-205 Live feud against Goldust. Sure, something new, fresh, please. But no, didn't happen. This happens as just a short little squash tag team match with Cedric Alexander and Goldust winning from the lumbar check from Cedric Alexander. Then we have this segment here. Well, actually, it was right before this match. Now, I'm going to pitch an idea that I shared on my Twitter earlier this evening. So, Elias is in the Royal Rumble, right? And I thought this brilliant idea. People are talking about, who wants to walk with Elias and whatnot, and the hype for him as well, being in a Royal Rumble match, hoping he'll have a good 2018, as I hope he gets a solid mid-card push. My idea was, since it's very hot and very fresh, what if you have Elias be the #1 entrant in the Royal Rumble, and he starts off the Royal Rumble with a song, and he says, "Who's ready to rumble with Elias?" I don't know what you guys think of that, but I think that would be pretty interesting. And then Robbie says, Mike, you mentioning Goldust reminded me that I was asking myself, if R-Truth got released from WWE. Yeah, where the heck has he been? And if he was, that's cool with me because I do not care about R-Truth at all whatsoever. But anyways, but yeah, that's my idea for the Royal Rumble. Elias starting the Rumble at #1, and he ends up being shoot, I lost my place again. He ends up starting off with a song and saying, "Who's ready to rumble with Elias?" But then, anyways, that's what he says. I'm sorry. That's what people are saying. Also, the WWE stands for Walk with Elias, which means that the Raw is his show and the WWE Universe is his universe. And he pledges to win the Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania. But as far as tonight goes, he brought in the new year with some incredible artists, but he gets to perform with two very special, talented musicians, the Miztourage, Axel and Dallas, who come out of the shadows and have some percussion instruments. Bo's playing a cowbell and dedicate songs to their hero, The Miz, who announced will be returning next week on Raw. We have not seen The Miz ever since he lost the Intercontinental title to Roman Reigns, and the Shield powerbombed him through the table. And then, so he'll be back next. So I'm assuming Becky Lynch will be back either this week or next week as well, since she was in the same film as The Miz. Then Axel and Dallas start playing instruments, and I'm sorry, but it was very awkward. It was not too clean. It was not really that good. So Elias thanked them and says he'll take it from here, pull the plug on it. He began singing his usual song about how much whoever Raw is sucks before getting cut off by Gallows, Anderson, and Ballard, the Ballard Club. They have their match. It's a short tag match as well. The Club and the Club and Ballard, the Ballard Club win with the coup de grace on Dallas. They did the finisher, the Magic Killer, into the coup de grace. They did two sweet, not one sweet. So it makes you wonder, is this a one-off thing, or is this going to keep going? Is this going to be a babyface or a heel stable down the line? I'd rather see it being a heel stable, because that's what Gallows and Anderson should be, heel stable as well. But then we ended Raw with this dreadful segment. It started off all right, and then it ended just bad. And I'm like, what the heck was this? So Heyman and Lesnar come out, and he does his usual introduction, and he talks about having Brock Lesnar having the card stacked against him once again by having challengers. That is plural, as Heyman states, challengers, and he says it's Beast versus Monster versus Machine. And we all know the trick: if Braun beats Kane, Brock loses the title, but and vice versa, whatnot. Note that he never said if someone beats Brock Lesnar, because we all know that ain't gonna happen. So spoiler alert: Brock will successfully defend the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble, which we know is pretty much gonna happen. Heyman knows commentary always talks about the odds change. In his opinion, the odds of Lesnar retaining are always 100%. He puts Brock over as most dominant champ in history, blah, blah, blah. Paul is actually spoken to Satan, you see, and the devil is actually a big Brock Lesnar fan. Then he goes to take their leave and this, for the night, but then I'm expecting something oh goodness, Robbie's saying the way I said this dreadful segment has Dan Geyser written all over it. Oh goodness. But yeah, this is where things got dreadful. Kane comes out, walks up to Lesnar, and just choke slams him. But then Lesnar, who also, by the way, I felt needed to shave, because you can really see that facial hair showing up on him. I'm going to be shaving tonight also to get rid of my facial. So Brock, please make sure you shave for your Royal Rumble match. He sits up, and then he hits a cactus close on the title and knocks him out of the ring. And all of a sudden, here comes people like low card guys in the roster just breaking them up. And that's how the show ends. We don't see Braun Strowman come out. We just see Kane and Lesnar, the really weak beatdown. That's how you're going to end your show and hype up your Universal title match for not for WrestleMania. Please don't put that match on for WrestleMania. Please don't do that. But yeah, that's how Raw went off the air tonight. It should have been just a lot better than it was, but unfortunately it's not. And again, I'm not excited at all for this Universal title match at the Royal Rumble. It's just a pushover match because Brock had no valuable opponents for Universal title apparently for this time. As I said, what they should have done, they should have at least saved Braun versus Brock. If they wanted to do Brock and Roman so badly at WrestleMania, they should have at least saved Brock and Braun for the Royal Rumble. Because again, after having Brock beat Braun the way he did at No Mercy, just let the air out of the tires for me for another Brock Lesnar match. Because if Brock can beat anyone else, actually, how should I expect him to, have a good match against, Finn Balor? Thank goodness he had going against AJ Styles at Survivor Series, but unfortunately, that is not the case. And Robbie in the live chat says, speaking of flavor, I bet you and Lauren love some of that crispy, tangy honey mustard barbecue flavor. You bet I do, Robbie. And actually, speaking of which, there was a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial tonight as well. And thanks to good people for the Christmas holiday, I got some gift cards of Buffalo Wild Wings. So hopefully, the next couple days, I'll be treating myself to some good, crispy, tangy, honey barbecue and Parmesan garlic flavor. My two favorite kinds from Buffalo Wild Wings. So I'll definitely make sure to eat some pretty good. How you doing? But yes, thank you guys, Robbie and Lauren, for tuning in to my live Raw review to start off for 2018. Again, thank you for tuning into my goofy little entrance. I might do something that does a little more, just have a little bit of fun, entertainment as well. If you have not yet noticed, also on my channel, I did start another retro review series today, as I'm going back, and hopefully by the end of January, before the Royal Rumble this year, I will be reviewing all 30 of the Royal Rumble matches. 2 already up. The third one I'm going to be exporting after I sign out of this review, and I'll be uploading that before I go to bed tonight. I will finish watching 4, maybe watch the 5th Royal Rumble, and I'll get those up as well. So thank you again, guys, for tuning in to the live review as well. Before we go off the air, as always, let me look at my my polls on Twitter. What grade would you give the first Raw of 2018? I had 4 votes, and everybody said C, which I'm going to be going there as well. My grade for this episode of Raw, again, very inconsistent, was a C-. Had some good stuff. The stuff with Reigns and Joe was good. Stuff with Jordan was interesting, but it wasn't really that great in the same way. But hopefully it leads to the heel turn. The Balor Club stuff was interesting as well. But oh my goodness, the Wyatt and Cruz match, the cruiserweight stuff with Goldust, the Alexa and Asuka wasn't too bad. That was good. What else we have? That last segment, the ending to that show. So yeah, because of that, very inconsistent show. C-. What grade would you give tonight's episode of Raw? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below, and be sure to click that like and subscribe button for more content to come to this this channel as well. Oh my goodness, Robbie. Let's hope sometime in 2018 we finally get some crunchy, creamy, soft, Brink, Ruby Riot ice cream flavor. You forgot the second T, Robbie. That's the new brand. The 2 T's, Ruby Riot with 2 T's brand as well. But yes, thank you again, Lauren and Robbie, for tuning in for the live chat. As always, a good start off to the New Year as well. I will be up here live again tomorrow night for my SmackDown Live review. And make sure to tune in again for the Royal Rumble recap and review, retro review series I'm doing as well. Hopefully I'll get that done before the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And with that, guys, I am checking out. And until then, have a great night.